So as most of you know by now, I am a property investor and I own multiple buy-to-let homes across the UK. But I also own my own home that I purchased via the Help to Buy scheme, which has been a really helpful scheme in the UK, particularly for people who are struggling to afford to get onto the property ladder because the prices of houses in the UK, especially down south, is mad. So affording a deposit is a huge barrier for a lot of people. And the Help to Buy scheme, along with some other schemes, offer you the chance to get onto the property ladder with a 5% deposit. Now, some of the eagle-eyed amongst you might have asked a question to yourselves once or twice when I've been talking about how I'm set up is, how, Warren, did you manage to buy your own home using the Help to Buy scheme and also invest in buy-to-let properties at the same time? Because that's actually against the rules of the Help to Buy scheme. When we take a look at what it says on the government website, it says the property that you buy with your equity loan must be the only home, everybody say only home, that you own and live in. So that pretty much puts owning other properties, other buy-to-lets off the table. The rules are very, very clear on this. So how am I doing it right now? How am I using a loophole in the Help to Buy government scheme system to my advantage to invest in properties? Stick around, guys, you're gonna find out how. By the way, guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Warren. I am a property investor across the UK and a banker here in London. My goal is to live free and independently from property. So I'm looking for an income of £3,000 per month from property. If that's what you're on and into too, if you want to live free and independently, like and subscribe to the channel. That is what my content is all about. So I talked about this in the early days of this channel when I was talking more about me and my background. I bought my first ever property, the one that I live in right now, back in 2017. Now, this was off the back of me spending a year abroad traveling. I was traveling, I had no job, I was in debt. I got back to the UK in 2016 and I started saving. So I didn't have a lot of cash. I hadn't worked or had a job properly for the best part of a year. I was living like a nomad. So guys, when it came to buying a property, I was faced with a dilemma. I was like, how am I gonna be able to afford a deposit? Now, if you've been looking out there, looking to buy your own home, you know that deposits on average around about 10-15%. In London, the average price of a one bed, around about £400,000. So we're looking at a deposit, guys, of £40,000 to £60,000. Now, I don't know about you, banking is, a decent paying job, but that's gonna take me a few lifetimes to save. So I was really struggling, but upon researching, guys, I found out about the Help to Buy scheme. A lot of you, most of you would have heard about it at least, but it's a really helpful government scheme designed to get people, first-time buyers, onto the property ladder. And the great thing about it is that it allows you to come up with a 15% deposit. So for my house where I live, that meant that I was able to save for a deposit of around about £16,000, which is still a significant sum of money, as compared to £30,000 to £45,000. So there's a big saving there just in terms of the amount and time in order to get my first house. It was a godsend for me, the Help to Buy scheme, guys. But also I had plans to invest. I'd come back from traveling and I was like, I want to start building up my own independence. I don't want to work forever. Guys, I'd been sitting on a beach around Australia, New Zealand, South Africa for the best part of a year. And I was like, yeah, I got to come back home and work, but I don't want to do this forever. I've tasted what it's like to live free and independently. And I was like, I want to start investing in some assets that are going to allow me to enjoy that lifestyle as and when I want it. So I came back with a plan. I was like, I'm going to buy my own house and I'm going to invest, right? Now, I just described how the Help to Buy scheme has certain rules that come with it. Yes, it gave me the opportunity to get onto the property ladder quicker and with less money in terms of the deposit, but it also took away in that the rules are very clear. It had to be, the house that I was buying to live in had to be my only home and the house that I was going to live in. So how was I going to get around that, guys? Would I have to choose to rent and invest instead, or invest instead and not own my own property? Because you can't do both at the same time. Now, guys, this is where research, I told you before I'm a nerd. I was researching far and wide. I was in forums, and I heard, guys, that there was a way around it. I didn't know anybody else at the time who had a Help to Buy house that they were living in but was also investing at the same time, because most people, I'm sure like you, assume that it's not allowed under any circumstances. But guys, it pays to be inquisitive. and ask questions. So through my research, guys, I found out that there is a way around it. You can own a home using the Help to Buy scheme and also invest in property legally without breaking any rules, because that's the key here. We're not talking about trying to scam any systems. People are watching, this channel is public, so it'd be really stupid to publicize that. But guys, the way around it is to own the home that you live in using the Help to Buy scheme in your own personal name, and then set up a limited company and start buying and owning those investment buy-to-let properties in the name of the limited company. And the reason why that is legally allowed, guys, is because according to the law, you as a personal individual is a separate entity from a limited company. Yes, you might own a limited company, but as far as the law goes, two separate entities. So you can use a Help to Buy scheme and your limited company is a separate entity investing in buy-to-let properties. That's how you do it, guys. So that was obviously extremely beneficial for me, guys. And let me just give you the example in numbers. So as I said, the deposit on the property that I bought via the Help to Buy scheme was 5%, roughly £16,000. If I wasn't using the Help to Buy scheme, it would have been between 50 and 30 grand more expensive, because the deposit required without the Help to Buy scheme on average is between 10 and 15%. So what was I able to do? I was able to save 5% for the deposit on the house that I live in, but also at the same time use that extra 30 grand that I would have had to save if I hadn't had access to the Help to Buy scheme to go and invest up north in an investment property. So I was able to kill two birds with one stone, guys. That 45 grand basically went to purchasing two houses, one to live in, one investment property. And you know, since then I've continued to save religiously and invest religiously, guys. But that's how I leverage the Help to Buy scheme legally to buy my own house, but also invest at the same time. If you're thinking, or you're in a dilemma about, oh, can I do it? Is it one or the other? The rules say this. They don't publicize it for obvious reasons. I don't think they want people using the scheme as a stepping stone to invest. But if you can do things legally, guys, and within the rules, it's absolutely worth exploring and taking advantage of and leveraging. So let me know what you think in the description below, guys, in the comment section below, guys. Are you doing the same thing? I'd love to hear from you if you're doing the same thing, or if you didn't even know about this before, are you going to plan on doing it? Let me know, guys. Like and subscribe for the algorithm, and I'll see you guys on the next one.